streaming. Check evidence. Yep.
For the A and B test,
Yeah?
will there be any questions where it's like combined knowledge?
That is always a possibility.
Wait, also, if, if I don't do better on like this one,
Yeah.
will you count this one instead?
Yeah. This one counts no matter
So you
what.
take you don't take the highest grade.
It could replace the first one
But if it doesn't, then
if you're doing the AB. But if it doesn't, it still counts because it's got B.
But like,
But-
So, like,
but-
just
but-
you can just take B.
You just take B if you're not confident in it.
A will
But then later we'll do A, B, C. This is really
But if
appropriate for kindergarten because A and B and C.
Yeah, but, like if I score lower on this A,
Yeah.
it won't.
It won't. The quiz is just going to count then as a quiz.
Oh. Okay.
So. You don't have to write this down. Randomly making it up. We did. That was. Before you came, I was in the lab and I heated that first solution to 50 degrees Celsius. Why would I do that? And why do I need to increase it? I didn't need it to increase the rate. I needed to heat it to 50 to make it go at all. Activation energy. So that particular reaction with the cobalt, we had the activation energy. And then we had what the reactions were, didn't really matter, but it had cobalt. And then what would the reaction look like on the other side if cobalt's the catalyst?
Not there.
Yeah, well, should it be there?
Maybe.
Yeah, the cobalt should just pop right out. Because it should cancel out. The cobalt wasn't used, it was pink, went up, bound, and you had some sort of like weird cobalt B2, A2 activated complex. So that's an activated complex. When I go all the way back here, what's something that is then made and then is used up? An intermediate, a reaction intermediate. Those are two different things. Each one of these has an activated complex. But the reaction intermediate is something stable that happens here that then continues to react. And so you can actually see that because this was green and these were pink or red. Well, pink. Red doesn't really exist. Okay, rate determining step. Where were we? What was that? What is the slowest step? Oh, let's go for some questions. B carries. B not here. One second. My app just decided to log me out. Oh my god. Apologies, I want to take attendance, but currently I have no cell reception and the Wi-Fi is down. And if I don't have an internet connection, you're not real people. Nope. Maybe we go back up. Now I can do this. B's not here. Karis?
Yep.
Cole? Declan? Elena? Evan?
Yep.
Anna? Anna? Isabel? Marcus?
Yeah.
Matt? Mia?
She's in the bathroom.
Naomi?
She's at home.
And Nicholas? Portia?
Yes.
Oh, there you are. And Sienna?
Yep.
Okay. Skill test in question. Which one of these steps is the slowest step? Hands. So many people called one up. Yes? Why?
Because so much energy change.
So much energy change. However, what about this energy change?
That's easier because it's going away, not coming in.
Yeah, excellent. So, step one,
Why did I come the hill and down hill?
you have to go up the hill. So here's our first EA1, EA2, EA3. If you wanted to develop a catalyst, you'd want to do it for step one. That would greatly speed up the reaction. What would the delta H be for this reaction in relative terms? I will call someone at random. Portia. Negative. Reaction went down, so the delta H is negative something. There's no units on here, so we don't really know what it is. So is this an exo or endothermic reaction? Exo. Negative delta H always means exo. Why is that here? That should have came after that, because that's summarizing all these things. To write their overall reaction, we cast all substances that occur on both sides. Those are the intermediates. Except for a catalyst, which appears first on a reactant side, And then on the product side. Evan, we're up to here. Excellent. Definition of a catalyst, something that we've already written this down. So, something that lowers the activation energy of a reaction that has an alternate reaction mechanism. I would like you to draw the diagram for both a catalyzed and an uncatalyzed reaction. So a little sketch, what would a curve look like for the regular reaction, no catalyst? What would it look like then for the catalyzed reaction? And Hannah? Should it be exo or endothermic? Choose one. Exo. So if you could please make it exothermic. Just to make it a little bit more practice.
Stop at the same place.
Declan? Where do you want me to start? And do you want to do the catalyzed or the uncatalyzed?
The uncatalyzed.
Uncatalyzed.
The uncatalyzed one.
So where do I start?
100.
Sure.
And then you would
Go up to
like 200.
200. Okay.
And then you then dip to, let's say, 50.
Oh, it's a beautiful uncatalyzed curve. Okay.
Wait, I thought it said products and reactants start and stop at the same place.
What?
It says there's no-
Products and reactants have
No,
never
right
started.
above it, it says products and like there's no change in it.
Oh yeah.
What?
That makes no sense.
Excuse me. I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh no, I'll do it this way. There. Perfect. Because that is a true statement, but it is not true for this diagram. It will be true in 1 second. Using that as your model, Matt, what would the catalyzed look like?
I don't really know.
What is the difference between a catalyzed and a not catalyzed reaction? Any characteristic? No, Matt.
Quicker.
It's quicker. So which one of these things would change? Would it change where it start? Would it change where it stop?
Probably it'll start going up earlier.
Oh, I know what you're doing. What you were doing is the classic, this is time. This is not time. So yes, it will start reacting quicker. But this is just progress of the reaction. So if you get there quicker, this doesn't show it because it's just showing what the molecules are doing at various stages of the reaction. So the question is, what would change? Would this go up and down? Would this go up and down? Or would this go up and down?
For the activated complex.
Yeah, and would it go up or down?
Oh.
Why?
Or no. Wait. It would go. Yeah, it would go up. Or with a catalyst,
With a catalyst,
it would go.
it will go up.
Is that wrong?
It might be, but I'm going to give you an analogy. Imagine you are rolling a ball, and this is the reaction. Because the reaction literally has to put in energy, get over the hump, and then come out the other side. So you start out with a certain amount of kinetic energy. You have just enough to get over. And then in exothermic, it goes faster. But it needs enough energy to go over this. And you have to roll this ball over this every day. If the peak is higher, would you go slower or faster?
Slower.
Slower. So this is actually a slower reaction because you have to roll that darn ball so high up. Even though it gets it all back, it goes whee. You still have to do it like this. So a catalyzed reaction should actually look smaller. Oh, I can't use that because the whole thing changes. So you'd probably go more like that. And I'll just do not catalyzed. And red is catalyzed. Now it lowers the activation energy, usually by providing a different mechanism. If you can improve the geometry, you don't need to use quite enough energy. Sometimes they do break it down into multiple steps. So it'll take a reaction and break it down into mini steps and then bring down the EA overall. So sometimes a catalyze could be like this. I'm going to do another one. Catalyzed multiple steps. Good. Sorry. Anybody not good? Work with a person next to you. So this is the reaction I want you to compare, contrast the forward reaction, the energy of activation for the catalyzed, the uncatalyzed, the delta H for the catalyzed, the delta H for the uncatalyzed, and they do all the same for the reverse. But I just remembered I have to go back where Evan said I made a mistake. Come on, there we go. And when I go into here, this is the clue. When it says the products and reactants start and stop at the same place, no change in the delta H, it's not referring to the start and end of the single reaction. What's it referring to? Forward and reverse. So if you go forward, you end up here. If you reverse, you have to start here and go back. And does it change for the catalyzed versus uncatalyzed? No, you start and stop at the same place. If you catalyze it, you still get the same products. You still get the same reactants. It doesn't matter how you get there, the products are the same. When you go into the grocery store and you see 2 bottles of vitamin C, one has been, lovingly extracted from living plants by druids in a mystical ceremony surrounded by large stones somewhere in the west of England. And another one was made in a lab in a dungeon with child labor. They will both make you just as healthy. One of them, if it's child labor, would make you a worse person, but just as healthy. The products don't matter. It doesn't matter how you got there. It doesn't matter if it's synthesized in a lab with a catalyst. It doesn't matter if it's synthesized in nature with an enzyme. Products and reactants start and end in the same place. That is not always true. Not always true if the thing you're looking for has side products that are useful. But if you just want the pure substance, that is always true. Okay, find those numbers. When I call your name, come up and write a number on the board. You can write with the pen. You can write with your finger, but please don't use your nail. Up to 2 people can write at the same time. Actually, can 3 write at the same time? 3 people can write. Can 4 people write? 4 people can write. 5 people. Holy crap.
It doesn't cap out at 5, I think.
No, there was a point where it went crazy with my grade 10, so I thought there was like more than 2. 6 people. 7 people. 8 people. I don't know how many people, never mind. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. I swear it started doing weird lines and it wasn't working with that many people, but now it appears to be. So, let's go with Nicholas and Mia and Marcus. First come, first serve. Elena. Evan. 5.
Wait, are we writing it here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cole.
No, I don't
Oh,
know.
someone's Isabel. I think I'm remembering. And Karis.
Still want a puzzle?
Can we do this right?
Where's Karis?
Bro, that was the opportunity.
Help me stop. Which one?
Just
do the
opposite.
sorry.
Oh,
Shoot.
No,
there's
this
this
one.
one.
Pick 2
Reverse. EA catalyzed. That's this. So
Up to
that's
there.
50 to 200, which is 150. Are you sure? I'm pretty sure it's up to there. Of catalyzed? Oh, wait, never mind. I was thinking.
It worked. It didn't freak out. There's a lot of people up there at the same time. Nice. What do we notice about the difference between the delta H of the catalyzed versus the uncatalyzed? They go negative to positive, but they end up at the same number. What do we notice about the delta H? Oh my goodness. Forward versus reverse.
They're inverse.
Inverse?
Negative. I don't know. Opposite.
What does it math? They're negative, they have opposite signs. What is the inverse? I have x. What's the inverse of, because opposite signs would be negative x. What's the inverse of x?
1 over x.
1 over x. And I'm only saying that because later on we're actually going to need that. That's part of the math we'll need later. I'll say things like inverse. And the inverse of the KQ will be important. So, any other trends you noticed between energy of activation? What is the energy of activation? And let's just pick.
After the change in heat.
Yeah, they're related through the delta H. So they're not going to be the same as uncatalyzed. But there is going to be a relationship between them and the delta H. Where do we have uncatalyzed, 150. So if you take the EA and minus the delta H, I think you get the same number. It's a rule I used to have when I was double checking my work. 150 minus negative 200, 200. No, it doesn't work. I had some sort of rule that they're related. It's not useful for calculating anything, but you should see that that's related. So is the catalyst, what does the catalyst do to the EA? Pardon? Lowers it. You have your jacket on. It's probably too cold in here again, isn't it?
You like go in the middle. You know?
I'll put it to 20.
You put it too hot.
Do I? Yeah, I put it to 21 last day. It was like boiling for me. Now, more reactants will have sufficient energy to react. When you lower the EA, do you give the reactants more energy? No. If the price of the iPhone lowers, people don't have more money, more people can simply afford them. Last I checked, I think it cost $98 to make every iPhone, regardless of style. So it doesn't matter which one you buy, it costs about the same to make all of them. They just offer different price points with different abilities to encourage different people to buy different ones. Sadness. Don't forget, when you graduate, to seize the means of production. Consider the following catalyzed reaction. The following is the potential energy diagram of the uncatalyzed reaction. Trace over it what the potential energy diagram of the catalyzed reaction would look like. The third step is the slowest step. And below it, let's view the whole thing. So, what just happened? View, zoom, entire page, entire page. Identify the reaction intermediates and give me the overall reaction. That's a good summary question. Now, I don't know if we're going to get to it today. However, we are very close to the end, which means we will be deciding when our test day is for ABC. Pardon? For a unit test, just in this little unit. Yep.
Why is step 3 the slowest?
Why is what?
Step 3 the slowest?
Oh, it just is. It's like when you're watching kindergartens run, and like one kid, his name's Harold, he keeps falling over. And like everybody's like, why is he the slowest? What's wrong with Harold? There's no reason. It's just Harold.
But in the last one, like step 1 was the slowest. You should just know that.
Oh no, you didn't know that until I told you.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't know who the slowest kid in class is until someone tells you, or you watch it. Yeah, no. You have to be given that, or you could be given the activation energy of every step, and then asked to figure it out. You go, oh, one of the biggest is the slowest. No, it's a fact of the. It's just a fact of the steps. Now, if we were in a different, if we were like in university, and you said, why is that the slowest step? You actually have in our first unit discussed what makes things slower. They're fast if they're all aqueous, for example. The more bond rearrangements. So I would guess, as a serious answer to it, there's probably more bond rearrangements than that. The more bonds have to do more things, and that just takes longer. You're not allowed to chew gum anywhere in this building. Skill test in question. Which buildings are you allowed to chew gum in?
Your house.
None of them.
Your house.
No.
No?
Stay out of my house. You're not allowed to chew gum in Privet. You can chew gum all you like in Ellis.
You can't chew gum in Privet.
You can't chew gum in Privet, or Whittle, or Rogers, or Hope, or Alice. I'm kidding.
Like, so do you ever choose
I'm
your
pretty-
house?
Really?
I think you're out
He
of
gets
house.
mad
for
at
now.
your
I go to my cut, that's about
Or
it.
Does Mr. Snow notice that you chewing gum?
He gets mad if you have like your shirt off. Like if we're like, even if it's like 11 and I'm going to like fill my water bottle, if I'm not wearing a shirt, he gets mad at me.
We had boundary training. I don't want to see your nipples. Neither does he.
He gets
No
mad at us
nipples.
for wearing hats in the house. Yeah,
Just-
well,
I just want to ask.
pajama pants.
Bro, like you really.
Yeah, we're not allowed to wear
Well,
pajamas.
pajama pants
I was
maybe
gonna
are
go
good.
out in
We
the
can't, we're not allowed to go to
Yeah,
break
he was
pajama
cut.
pants.
Cut from school.
That's a rule in the whole school.
Well, what does it?
I mean, half the houses break it all the time. But,
all of them. Except Rogers.
well, Okay, when I call your name, you can come up and circle a reaction intermediate, so something that's the same on both sides, and cross it out. You could also circle a catalyst on both sides. You could draw the diagram that you think it should look like. You can fill in the delta H. You could circle whether it's endothermic or exothermic, and then grab the sheet. So, Karis. And just to prepare you, it will be in alphabetical order, Portia. You're next, yes. This is my fancy way of also giving you a quiz sheet. Yes? Can anything be? Oh! How many of you are in Biology
Why
12?
would you take the good one? Just take that one.
Important knowledge.
Just take that one.
In Biology 12, water is used as a temperature regulator and and a bunch of things. In chemistry, I will show you an example in which water is a catalyst. And they've gone directly from that to a test in biology, which it says, which of the following are functions of water? And it says like temperature regulator and a bunch of things, and you have to pick one and two, this. And one of the things is catalyst. In a biology class, that's wrong. Because they don't teach it about being a catalyst. And it often isn't. However, sometimes it is. So I think it's a badly written question. It was written by the provincial government in one of the provincial exams. But yeah, and pretty much anything could be a catalyst. It just has to have a way to grab onto a molecule and present its geometry differently.
So like you could have like a singular molecule or like a compound.
You could have a what?
Like you could have like I or you could have H2O. Like not in this one, but
A catalyst could literally be any one of those. It just has to start somewhere and then end up coming out. Cole, Nicholas,
No, it doesn't come out. Yeah, it does.
and Jay. Oh, Jay left us. Jay was like, Jay was early bullied. Because it dropped from A to E. He's like, you might need it. And then Jay looked at all the schools, like one school needs it. I will just not go to that school. And then I don't need to take it. Elena? Sienna? And Isabel? Marcus? What?
Oh, is that quizzes? This?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Wait. Oh.
Declan?
Oh, hey.
Hannah?
Can you please tell me if on the like combined test there's gonna be a combined question?
No, I'm gonna make it a surprise.
But Kate.
I don't know off the top of my head. I just made the quiz.
Yeah.
But all of them could be considered that. Because you have to know about reaction rates to talk about this.
Okay.
Mia?
Yeah, that's true. Make a difference.
Naomi's right here.
And
But, for example, there are questions in this section that require you to know details about acid-base chemistry. I make sure I don't put those in.
Okay.
Because the question bank, because they're from the provincial exam, assume you've done the entire year. And we haven't. However, those are useful questions to do later on because then they combine knowledge. Evan, Matt Wood.
Oh, they're like pre-made this time.
Now, I know this is going to be a little annoying, but I'm going to do this first. So, water was in, and then it came out. So what is, and iodine someone circled, but they didn't circle anything on the other side. It's not iodine. Is there any other ones?
Chlorine.
Chlorine. No, it's not.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying what the my bad.
CIO, HCI, I. Oh, jeez. Why isn't it doing the thing? It used to have a magic thing. Now it would expand it. Anyway, if you look very carefully, that is not an eye. That's an eye. That's not an eye. What's that? L. There's very few compounds that are hydrogen, carbon, iodide, oxygen. That's a weird thing. But it no longer, how would you know that? But that is HClO. So there's one. Yep. Anything else? HIO. Hi-O. OH. And it's nice to join them. And anybody else? No. Which one of them is a catalyst? H2O. So I'm really glad you asked that question. Catalyst. So this is the case, but if you ever see that question from your teacher that says, can water be a catalyst? In biology class, the answer is no, because they never teach you about it. But you could always take it to your teacher and say, I saw in my chemistry class it was once used as a catalyst. I think they phrase it as, what are the properties of water for living things, which I think is how they weasel their way out of it. Biologists need to do more chemistry. So ClO minus plus I minus goes to Cl minus plus IO minus. That looks like a really simple two-particle reaction. It actually takes place in 3 separate steps, which was the slowest step. So I will just ask. Hold it. Double check my time. Did it end at 9:35? Yeah, 35.
What time's it?
25 to 35. 15, 20 minutes. I got 3 minutes. Well, 1 minute and 2 minutes to hand out. What would the catalyzed one look like? I will ask. Declan.
Just kind of like a smaller bump.
Like this?
Yeah.
Yep. You have it half right.
I thought there was 3 bumps.
There should be 3 bumps.
The last one's big. Or, like my finger says.
So yeah, 3 bumps. Last one's, why is the last one bigger?
Because it's the longest one.
Longest?
Slowest. The
Slowest
step.
one.
It's the slowest step.
So slowest step.
Takes most energy.
Good. Catalyzed, 3rd step, slowest. We identified catalyst. We wrote the overall reaction. It is exothermic, and its delta H is minus 20 kilojoules.
So do you put H2O on the end of the reaction?
No, it canceled out. Sometimes what we'll do if we want to show the catalyst, we'll write it right over the arrow. That shows it was there. So often you'll read reactions like in journals, and they have like PT over the arrow. That means they used a platinum catalyst. Platinum is really common as a catalyst. It does all sorts of things. Good. Okay, put everything away except for your pencil, eraser, pen, if you really, really want one, and your calculator. I will give you a periodic table.
You can't use it on
You, pardon?
and use your data book?
Nope. I'm giving you a data booklet.
Oh, okay.
So I'm giving you a fresh and clean data booklet.
Sure, they got some AI in the guys. Is that common law?
Is that common law? How? That is an icon of science.
Who is it?
Who is that? I mean, there's 2 icons of science in there. Oh, and put your head down on top of your desk. Although it is a bit, both of them are a bit of a reach in terms of whether or not, I mean, it's pop culture from like the 2000s and the 80s and 70s. So.
Yeah, who is the girl?
It's from the X-Files,
Oh, I don't know.
Scully and Mulder.
You watch them.
And who's the Muppet?
It's from, I don't know, from the Muppets. Yeah. That's not.
Actually, this is a moment of pure joy, because clearly you've never seen the Muppet Show. You must immediately go to whatever channel still streams it. You must watch all the episodes of the Muppet Show.
The drummer is the best one.
The drummer is so good.
He's the best guy.
Actually, no, this guy's kind of awesome. Or the chef. The chef's pretty awesome.
Bark, bark, bark.
He makes the popcorn with the shrimp.
Okay, I have 2 copies of the quiz when I come around. Tell me if you want A. Sorry, not A. Do you want AB or B?
I look for it.
I will just give you can't look through it, you just get to choose. B is 9 multiple choice questions. Sit. A is more. There's 18 marks. There's a 3-mark long answer.
Wait, B doesn't have a long answer.
Nope. I didn't have a good long answer, and I wasn't gonna make it silly. Pick which one you want. Make sure on this time on your sheet there are different versions, so make sure that you color in if you have version 1 or version 2. Because if I don't notice you didn't fill it in and I auto mark it and you filled in and it'll just assume a version, probably the wrong one if you don't. Also, it's a quiz, so you have to like separate out, move to different tasks, do things. Okay, put your headings in the top corner of your desk because they're going to come around. What do you want? What do you want?
Where's my version?
You want?
She took it late. So if
Oh.
the test